renew hostilities. Another chapter is written today in Gainesville. Florida versus Florida State. 2 schools, 1 game, 1 state, 1 winner. Central Florida, college football at its finest. The big in-state rival, the Florida State Seminoles, ranked number 9 nationally, and the number 11 Florida Gators. And the fans gathering early on this cold, late November day, set for college football in the swamp. Yeah, as a player, he never lost. Keith, what could you say in retort?
Well, the bragging rights are most important, and I don't have my likeness on any tickets, but I too, Nat, never, ever, ever, ever lost to the Florida Gators.
All right, so we have 2 commentators that are undefeated against one another. We'll try to keep things civil here in the press box, regardless of what happens down on the field. Now let's get down to the nuts and bolts and talk quarterbacks today. We have 2 Chris's, Ricks and Leak, and they're both the keys to their teams. Keith?
For Florida State, Chris Ricks is the absolute key, particularly as it relates to their ability to make things happen. There you see his 0-3 numbers. Last year against Florida, guys, he ran the ball effectively. Over 80 yards rushing, made good decisions on the ground. Florida State would prefer that he not run the ball tonight, that he throw the ball, and making decisions when he has the ball in his hands is key. Here you'll see again last year where he made a good decision to roll out of the pocket, just throw the ball away. During the ball game, of course, they'll want him to get the ball downfield to receivers.
You look at his numbers career-wise at Florida State, number 3 all-time passing yardage and in touchdown passes, so he has truly had a great career. On the other side for the Gators now, Chris Leak just beginning his college football career, but what a beginning it is for him.
Well, David, you're so right. True freshman. He's completing 60% of his passes for nearly 1,900 yards, 12 touchdowns. You know, the thing that he has done in this 5-game win streak, he gave up 6 sacks versus LSU, but he's starting to use his legs where he's escaping the rush, picking up necessary first downs. And this is a kid that has a lot of confidence, a great arm, and when you give him time to throw the football, he loves to throw the deep ball, as we see here where he gets the ball to Ben Troop. This young man has all of the talent, and for the Gators to be victorious today, we need him to play mistake-free football.
And yet we talk quarterbacks, fellas, but since 1990, the team that has run the ball the best has won almost every time, all but once in this series between Florida and Florida State. And so that sets the stage. It's Florida State traveling to Gainesville to take on the Gators in the swamp. And we'll be back with a kick in just a moment on Sunshine. And here come the Seminoles of Florida State from Tallahassee.
The question for FSU, David, is are they back? There's 3 components when you start the season at Florida State. Number 1 is, do you win the ACC? Florida State has done that. Number 2, do you play in a BCS Bowl? Florida State will do that. But number 3, and I do put them in that order, in that, from a recruiting standpoint and a bragging rights standpoint, you have got to beat the University of Florida in order to consider it a successful year, in order to consider Florida State back in the national spotlight.
And more often than not, in the Bobby Bowden era, the Seminoles have had the upper hand in this particular series, particularly since 1990. And once again, a tremendous sellout crowd on hand at the swamp. And here come the Seminoles with a strong contingent of fans up in that side of the end zone and on the east side of the stadium. And this stadium already is electric with fans from both schools ready for the start of the football game. Bobby Bowden, the 74-year-old head coach, has really done a marvelous job keeping this team together this year.
Florida State does not play in a setting in the ACC like Florida often plays in the SEC. Clemson probably comes as close to being as loud and raucous as the Gator crowd can be. And, of course, Florida travels to LSU and to Georgia and a number of other places that are extremely, extremely noisy.
You see Florida leads the overall series, but Florida State has had the upper hand of late, winning 4 of the last 5, including last year's victory in Tallahassee, 31-14. Chris Ricks was almost perfect in that game. His quarterback, no interceptions thrown, no fumbles. He threw for a couple of touchdowns, and he is certainly a key today for Florida State. And again, it is just a perfect day for football. The temperature in the low 50s, very low humidity. There is a swirling wind whipping around the swamp, which could be a factor for both of these quarterbacks. Teams creeping out onto the field in support of their team captains for the toss of the coin. And Florida won the toss and deferred till the second half. So Florida State will get the football to start the game.
And that's been the MO for Coach Ron Zook, is he always want to go defense first, just to sort of set the tone of the ball game. And you know, today is no different as Florida wins the toss and defers until the second half.
Florida State a little handicapped, guys, with Alfonso Fort being out. Antonio Cromartie, the lead returner, with a little bit of a bad knee. Field position will be key. Florida hoping to capitalize on that early.
And you see Chris Ricks warming up on the Florida State sideline, and it's been an interesting career for this junior from California. He's had some ups and downs last year, suffering through a difficult time, but has rebounded with some very big wins this year. And the win 2 weeks ago against North Carolina State, Keith, was the biggest certainly of this year, to get that ACC championship under his belt and outduel Phillip Rivers in the end and get the victory.
And as I said in the open, as Chris Ricks goes, so does this Florida State offense. The coaches, candidly, guys, want Chris to be more methodical, more of a distributor of the football, and not try to
thing on their minds. One of the fans in attendance at this game is former security guard Homer Booth. It is his first trip to Death Valley since leaving here on a stretcher last year. He doesn't think Clemson should allow anyone on the field after games.
And I know tradition is tradition for them, but what is most important, tradition or life?
Despite Clemson's intent to limit access to the Hill, in the waning minutes of the game, one Clemson security official estimates the number of fans in the area had swelled to 10,000.
I don't know, when you hear the fans start yelling goalposts, you know, you kind of get an idea they're going to rush the field and do something. So last year there was an incident, they said this year just take care of yourself. As soon as the game is over, zeros as close as you can, go to the home side bench and use it as a barrier.
With 5 seconds remaining, the crowd can no longer be held back. Within minutes, both goalposts are down. As fans begin to carry them up the hill and out of the stadium, 18-year-old Kyle Atkinson sits dazed.
Tell me what happened.
Well, we were all in the middle of pulling the goalpost down, and it finally broke, and it came down right on top of me. And nobody could hear me or nothing. And it fell right here on top of my neck, and it just punched me into a ball.
Atkinson says he was transported by helicopter to a hospital, where he was treated for a fractured vertebra. Clemson officials say another fan suffered a broken ankle during the incident.
What does this say about the plan of gathering at the PA for the future?
We're going to continue to do it. I think the extremes, upsets, if you will, in highly emotional games are the exception and not the rule. And what we want to do is keep Clemson's tradition and not change it substantially for what's maybe inevitable.
One day, they're going to really, really kill someone out there. The solution is keep them off the field, period. It's just that simple.
Is being extremely efficient running the football, and you make him a non-factor versus the big factor that he normally is in all of the ball games.
Sunshine Network brings you Sports Talk Live, featuring some of Florida's 74-year-old Bobby Bowden, who has an opportunity to get his 10th win of the year here today against his arch rival. Ron Zook, in his second year as head coach at Florida, has yet to experience the joy of beating the big in-state rival. Lost in Tallahassee last year, 31-14, and now trailing here in the Swamp, 17-6.
Well, we talked earlier about the leadership, the senior leadership, and this is a time when you go in and you make the correction, you make the changes, and you get the ball first, get a chance to come out and maybe put some points on the board, get back in this ball game, and this is where you look for those seniors to start to lead again.
22 seniors playing their final game here at Florida Field for the Gators. Andre Caldwell fields the kick by Bethia at the 6-yard line. Caldwell had one big return in the first half, but not this time. Brought down at the 21, a 14-yard return for freshman Andre Caldwell. So here comes the Florida Gator offense, led by 18-year-old freshman Chris Leak, 9 for 12 in the first half. 6-1 as a starter. Since taking over after week 4 for sophomore Ingle Martin. 4-man rush. Leak looking, getting pressure from the blind side, and throws it up for grabs. Should have been intercepted, but it is not by Jerome Carter. It hit him in a bad spot. Well, he was going to make a big play for Florida State. And the pressure coming from Kevin Emanuel. Just a split second late, or it would have been a big sack.
And this is just a tough pass for Chris Leak to try and throw as he's sprinting out to his left side, trying to square his shoulders up to throw the football.
Particularly running as lateral as he was, a lot of times you want to get that ball a little deeper and allow your quarterback to move upfield. And I've never understood why defensive backs can never catch a football.
That's why they play on that side of the ball. Kelvin Kite eluding a defender and roaring out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Nifty move by number 2. Theatric Faison, very quiet in the first half. Only had 5 carries for 7 yards. Coming off the biggest game of his career, one of the biggest by a Florida running back at South Carolina 2 weeks ago. He almost had 200 yards in rushing against the Gamecocks. Gators will stack up 4 receivers out on the left side on 2nd down and 7 from the 45-yard line. And they set the screen play. Caldwell looking to throw it back to Chris Leak. Leak has it at the 40, and he's got a caravan out in front of him. Leak at the 30, driven down at the 25-yard line. Well, it seemed like a play that was never going to develop, but it worked out very nicely for Chris Leak and the Gators.
Well, you have to know something is wrong when you throw the ball out to the left side and not one receiver leaves. They're all sitting there blocking. So you know that there's got to be a toss back. You got a drag route, pulling everybody out of there. You throw it back to Chris Leak, and he's got the big uglies out front. And, of course, in open space, big uglies block space.
Well, plus, if you throw that ball behind the line of scrimmage, the big uglies can be downfield. There's no illegal downfield.
Leak throwing for Troop. He's got it. Touchdown, Florida.
And what? What an adjustment by Ben Troop on the football. These are the kind of plays that true All-Americans make. Now watch Ben Troop relocates the football. He's expecting this ball to be thrown over his outside shoulder. The ball is being thrown back inside. He turns his head, locates the football, makes the catch for the touchdown.
Florida striking quick, and they'll go for 2 on a conversion, trailing 17-12. Trying to make it a 3-point game. Keep an eye on Troop in the slot to the right side. And Leak will keep it and dive over the top to get in. Yes, the conversion is good by Chris Leak.
And David, that is sacrificing your body. Look at the effort by the true freshman quarterback as a little play action fake to theatric face. Now watch him leave his feet, stretches out the football, breaks the plane of the goal line. Tremendous effort by Chris Leak for the 2-point conversion.
And how quickly the momentum has shifted early in the third quarter. 1:35 seconds on the touchdown drive, and Leak goes in for 2 to cut the lead to 3. Fell out in the swamp, and the crowd roaring. The home fans celebrating a touchdown by the Gators to start the third quarter. And Chris Leak's 2-point conversion making it now a field goal lead for the Florida State Seminoles.
And David, what a drive by Chris Leak as he's gone 10 for 14 here in this ball game with 116 yards as you see the 78-yard drive. But the 30-yard catch and run as he tossed it out, caught it, and then leading this team down the field, making big plays. Tremendous leadership by the true freshman.
It is just so rare to see a young man so young, so poised as this 18-year-old quarterback from Charlotte, North Carolina, Chris Leak.
Well, when he first came in, David, and I heard so many things about this guy, and I said, wait a minute, 185 touchdowns, 15,000 yards. I don't care if he's playing against the boys club. This kid's got talent.
And the pooch kick is fumbled away out of bounds. Florida State will have it at the 25-yard line. Let's go to the sideline, the Florida State sideline, with Tom Block.
David, I'll tell you what, things could have been different if Jerome Carter makes that interception on the last drive. He had a gift, dropped it. He's a guy that is from Lake City, smack dab between Gainesville and Tallahassee, was recruited by both schools, and he got a little peeved, basically, that Florida stopped recruiting him. He felt slighted. Ended up going to FSU, which is where he wanted to go all along, but perhaps nobody wants to beat Florida more than Carter, and he had a chance to help the cause and didn't get it done.
Well, he certainly did. That would have turned the momentum quickly in favor of Florida State here in the third quarter. Instead, the Gators marched it down the field and scored the touchdown as well as the 2-point conversion. Now let's see if Ricks could get the Florida State offense going, and they give it off to Greg Jones, and a bruising senior from South Carolina picks up 3 yards to the 30. Johnny Lamar was the first Gator on the spot.
If you're Florida State guys, you don't want to panic. You're still up by 3. You had a good running game going in the first half. You know Florida's going to make some adjustments, so you tweak some of your own, but you don't get away from what was going well for you early in the ballgame.
Now the Gators, with that touchdown drive, have the crowd going behind them. And the toss to Jones again. He slips and falls before he can cut it back to the inside. That'll bring up third down and about 7 for the Seminoles.
Jones slips and falls, but good job by Johnny Lamar coming up, making it a short corner, turning everything in. And Greg Jones slips as he tries to cut back inside, but Reed Fleming was in good position to make the tackle.
And Keith, this is what Florida State was hoping to avoid. Not too many of these 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
Florida State about 36% as you see there on the year in third down conversions.
Ricks will throw on third down. He's getting pressure. He hits Jones over the middle. Jones hit at the 30 and short of the first down at the 34-yard line. Marcus Thomas came from his tackle position and got help from Bobby McCray.
Good pressure by Bobby McCray coming around the outside. Chris Ricks trying to set up a screen. What a nice job by the Gators of being alert and reacting to the football.
I like the call, trying to take advantage of a fired-up Florida defense, but good discipline by the linebackers, and they bring down Jones.
And a punt situation. Jesse Stein back at the 20-yard line. High kick forcing a fair catch by Ratliff, and he hauls it in at the 34. Florida taking the football, trailing Florida State by 3 in the swamp early in the third quarter from Gainesville. and then the field goal by Leach. So 11 unanswered points by the Gators to tie the score at 17-17 with still 7:44 to go in the third. The 8th-ranked Gator basketball team returns to the O'Connell Center next Tuesday, December 2nd, to face Florida A&M. That's a 7 p.m. tip, and few tickets remain. So call 352-375-GO-UF and order your tickets today. And Leach, a big part of Florida's scoring attack today with 3 field goals in the game, 2 from 47, 1 from 42, and he missed 1 from 48. Last drive for the Gators, 9 plays, 41 yards. Matt Petrovich kicking off. Leon Washington standing deep along with Willie Reed, and it'll be Reed coming to the near sideline, getting great field position for Florida State and maybe a lot more. He is taken out of bounds at the 40-yard line in Florida territory. Boy, a short kick by Petrovich, and Willie Reed, an outstanding return for Florida State.
We saw on the previous kickoff that Petrovich was trying to pooch the ball. I think maybe he was doing the same thing, just got it a little too deep. And Willie Reed, much like Leon Washington, is able to move in traffic. Florida State, for the second time, returns the kickoff into the Gator territory.
And that's just what the Seminoles needed to get the momentum back. They have great field position at the Florida 43-yard line. Now in a 17-17 tie in the third quarter. Leon Washington across the 40 to the 37, a gain of 5 for Washington. Bobby McCray there to make the tackle for Florida.
Hey guys, is it me or is it that Florida State, as soon as they get great field position, they open up the offense? You know, early when you get them backed up, they go double tight ends, 3 tight ends. Here's a good job of showing you the elusiveness of Washington, and he knows when to turn it upfield and go north and south instead of continually bouncing it outside.
And psychologically, it's just so much easier proverbial running downhill when you start in your opponent's territory.
Washington bounces to the outside. He's got a blocker. Great play by Robinson to give him another 5 or 6 yards. Leon Washington out of bounds at the Florida 19 after a 17-yard carry.
Well, Leon Washington gets this, but this is the play that should be made. You've got Johnny Lamar coming on the blitz. He should be there. You've always got to check the back first and then go to the quarterback. He went quarterback first. The play came out the backside, and he just wasn't in play to make a play. Good call by the coaching staff. Bad execution by the player.
In another situation where you have the right offensive play to counteract a defensive play. More times than not, the defense wins that battle.
Ricks throwing for the end zone. P.K. Sam, the intended receiver. Ratliff makes the catch, but he's out of bounds. Of course, he's the all-time interception leader at Florida with 9. But he was well out of bounds in his efforts to get number 10.
I don't even throw the ball his way. I don't care who you're trying to throw it to.
And you see, he's got a better beam on the football than P.K. Sams, and comes very close to getting that foot down.
Closer
than
I
thought, yes.
Well, what a year that Ratliff has had. He has been incredible.
Did he make the finalist list for the Thorpe that was announced this week? I didn't see it.
I believe he did. He's got 9 interceptions this year. 12 in his career. Second down and 10. This time, Washington cannot find the corner as Reed Fleming comes along the line of scrimmage, but he had a lot of help. A lot of blue shirts stretching that thing out.
Well, David, I hope we get another look at it. Reed Fleming will get the tackle, but watch Matt Farrier just string this thing out, takes it to the sideline, and it allows that pursuit from inside to come in and make the tackle.
If you never lose leverage on the outside, you'll always have folks helping you as they fill the alley. That's exactly how you teach your defensive ends to play.
And the linebackers, Farrier and Fleming, standing side by side. Both seniors, both have played very well this year. Big third down play for Florida State. Gators showing a blitz, and here they come. Rick scrambling. Scott in pursuit. Ricks fumbles. It's picked up by the Gators. Ratliff Kewan Ratliff to the 40. Ratliff to the 20. He will waltz in for the touchdown. Kewan Ratliff picks up the Ricks fumble and rambles 76 yards for the touchdown and puts the Gators in the lead with 6:10 to go in the third.
Well, one of the things we talked about is you want to force Chris Ricks to try and beat you. Gus Scott comes up with his 5th forced fumble of the year. Kewan Ratliff comes up with the fumble recovery, runs it in for his 2nd return of a fumble of the year for a touchdown.
Wow, 76 yards for Ratliff. And Ricks finally making a mistake here, and a costly one for Florida State, as Leach will attempt the extra point and give the Gators a 24-17 lead. What a remarkable turnaround, as it looked like Florida State at least was going to come away with a field goal and reclaim the lead, but instead Florida is in the end zone celebrating at the other end of the field.
One of the things that we talked about at the top of the show is you don't want to put Chris Ricks in a position where he has to try to make big plays, because sometimes he makes them, but more times than not he doesn't. Great pressure by Florida that time, forces the turnover, and Ratliff with a 2nd fumble recovery and return for a touchdown.
Well, he has just made one big play after another for this defense all year.
And what about Gus Scott? The 5th time this year he has forced a fumble, and what an opportune time. Charlie Strong comes with the blitz, hoping to knock him out of field goal range, and they come up with the big turnover for the touchdown. Now watch Gus Scott as he grabs it with the right hand. He reaches in, knocks it out with the left hand. Tremendous play by Gus Scott, the senior from Jacksonville.
And we've seen it, if you're a Florida State fan, we've seen it over and over and over again, that when Chris Ricks runs with the football, he does not protect it.
Right. Let's go to the field and Steve Babbitt.
You know, the thing too, Nat, David, and everybody, Gus Scott is the best at doing that, because sorry about that, Keith. Because Gus, Ron Zook has said that Gus has the best knack of getting and punching the ball out from behind. He says there's an art to that. You just can't strip a ball. A lot of guys just try to pull at the ball. He says you've got to come from behind, but you've got to make sure you've got some leverage. And he said Gus has had a knack for the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, you know, back in the first quarter, he hit Chris Davis after Davis made a catch and forced a fumble, which was not called. But this time, clearly, the Gators taking advantage, and Ratliff running 77 yards officially for the touchdown. Leon Washington, the dangerous return man. This time he will be stopped as he crosses the 20-yard line. And Florida really playing with tremendous energy right now, and they have taken the momentum away from Bobby Bowden's Seminoles.
And most of the time when you've been on the field like the defense have, you're looking for a break. But when you can make a play like that, score the touchdown defensively, and then go back on the field to play defense again, you don't feel so bad about it.
The adrenaline kicks in and the crowd kicks in, and you're absolutely right, Nat. You're completely re-energized. Florida is a little bit confused on defense. They'll take a timeout.
I think they had 12 players on the field. Yeah. The second half, the Florida Gators trail at the half 17-6 against the Seminoles, but they've taken a 24-17 lead on the 77-yard fumble recovery return by Kewan Ratliff, and Bobby Bowden cannot be happy with the way his team has played this second half. Tom Block down on the sideline to you.
David, the crowd definitely back into things now, obviously, with the turnaround. Bobby Bowden, before the game, his pregame speech, he stressed to his team that this is a 60-minute game over and over again. If something bad happens, forget about it, move on. We'll see if they got the message.
Well, something bad has just happened. And Ricks and company back on the field. Lorenzo Booker is the tailback now. But Ricks will throw on first down. And his pass is caught by P.K. Sam, who runs away from Johnny Lamar. Lamar dragging him down, but not before Florida State picks up a very important first down to get that crowd quieted down a bit.
And we talked about the defensive side of it. From the offensive side, when you have a turnover like that results in a score, you've got to refocus real quick. You see Florida State coming back with a little out route to PK Sam. You've got to get right back into the focused frame of mind. You can't, as Tommy talked about, you just got to let it go and forget it.
Booker again, sweeping to the right side. Darrell Dixon hits him on the corner. A gain of 3 for Lorenzo Booker. Florida's senior secondary has made big plays all year long. This Florida State offense very young, only one senior in that starting lineup, and that's Greg Jones, and he gives way obviously off into Washington and Booker. So
he plays about a third of the time.
Yeah. But everybody you're seeing out there today for Florida State on offense is going to be back next year. Florida showing blitz. Crowder jamming up in the gap. And Reed Fleming comes in with a big hit on Booker.
Nice job by Reed Fleming of making the tackle in the open field as Booker tries to juke him. Gets down around his leg, comes up with the tackle.
And get a good run stunt by Florida. All the defensive linemen go left, and Fleming steps around to the right, and he's right there to meet Booker in the hole. Charlie Strong, Charlie Strong moving 8 and 9 people in the box. He's going to force Chris Ricks to throw the football.
And that's exactly what Ricks is likely to have to do here on 3rd down and 8. A big play for Florida State. Rick steps up, scrambling across the 40. Hit at the 45-yard line, close to a first down by Johnny Lamar, but we'll see where they spot the football. A gutsy play by the junior quarterback, and I don't think he got enough.
This will be short. 4.5 and a rolling clock left in the 3rd quarter. Ricks looks downfield, doesn't see anybody.
Guys, what's the difference in Chris Ricks that time versus the one where he fumbled the football? As soon as he decided to run with the football, he put it away so that he would not get the ball stripped out.
Got to protect the football. Sound like a basketball coach, don't I?
Jesse Stein punts it away.
Nice punt.
Vernell Brown backpedaling, and Brown fields it at the 4-yard line. Brown coming out to the 10 to the 14, and so Vernell Brown getting a chance to field a punt. I guess Ratliff might have still been a little bit winded maybe from his big return and then playing defense quickly again. So Brown comes in to return the punt, and he should have let that one hit.
Well, there's no
likely would have gone into the end zone.
There's no might in that. That's one that, the rule of thumb is you put your heels on the 10-yard line
and don't back up.
Never back up. And that time, Vernell, in his haste to catch the football and try and do something with it, fielded a ball that he probably should have let hit.
And so can the Gators take the ball at the 14. 3:49 left in the 3rd quarter. Theatric faceoff. Spins free from one tackler, but can't get away from another. That's Boulware finally making the stop on the elusive sophomore from Neptune Beach. Michael Boulware, Butkus semifinalist.
Here you see the strength of Theatric Faison as he starts to the left, spins in the hole, pulls away from tackles, picks up about 4 yards, giving the Gators a good 2nd down and medium situation.
Faison picked up about 4 yards, and it is 2nd down from the 18. Leak throwing it to Faison, and it's incomplete. Kind of heard footsteps coming from Mr. Boulware.
Well, if he didn't, he was praying that Chris Leak saw Mr. Boulware. Had he thrown that ball upfield, which would normally have been the case, Boulware in a good position to potentially intercept.
And for 6 points.
I'm going to give Leak credit for throwing the ball away, Nat.
I think he's just trying to get it out there where if his guy catches it, he's isolated one-on-one, but he doesn't lead him into the tackle or the interception.
Pretty headsy play for a young quarterback. And it's now 3rd down for the Gators late in the 3rd quarter. Florida on top 24-17. On the draw, the handoff to Faison, and he will fumble the football. And it's picked up by Florida State and run in for a touchdown. Pat Watkins picks up the fumble and runs it in. And now Florida State has taken advantage of a Gator error.
Where did that come from?
Boy,
I didn't even see it.
like slow motion.
Another look at it here. Florida just going to try to get the ball upfield. Looked like they were playing for field position.
Well, was he down? I think the Gators thought perhaps that he was, but Watkins does the smart thing. He picks it up and runs with it and waits for somebody to tell him you can't do that.
Well, Watkins did what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Play football till you hear the whistle blow. Whistle didn't blow. He picks it up, runs it in for a touchdown.
Xavier Bethia's extra point try is good, and we are tied again at 24-24. The Seminole defense opportunistic after the fumble. And we'll get another look from a different angle. Boy, that looked like a tough break for the Gators as
that's an understatement.
The fumble is called.
Well, guys, the one thing we can say is that they've been consistently bad, the officiating on fumbles or lack of fumbles.
Well, they've missed almost every one. They've gotten almost all of them wrong.
Well, his knees are down, and the ball comes out after his shoulder hits the ground. So here's another look at it. He's down. Right there, he's down. Now here comes the ball out.
Wow. Boulware knocked it free. He and Dockett were on the bottom of that stack, so give them credit for knocking the ball out of there, making the officials make some kind of call or no call, as the case may be.
Well, the only redeeming quality for this is Florida has to play with this kind of officiating once. Florida State plays an 8-game ACC schedule.
There's a look at your referee, Jack Childress. And the back judge, Doug Foley. And the game tied at 24-24 with 2:49 to play in the third quarter. Well, a couple of plays that were called wrong from our replay standpoint anyhow in the first half. A couple went against Florida. One went against Florida State. And now another here in the third quarter that goes in favor of the Seminoles. And we're right back where we started, guys. 24-24 with 2:49 to go in the third period.
And hopefully as we go forward, we'll have a little less mistakes.
A little less officiating, please. A little more football.
Xavier Bethia will kick off for the Seminoles, and there's Faison standing back near the goal line along with Andre Caldwell. Nice short kick, and it is Caldwell fielding it at the 15-yard line. Caldwell dropped at the 29, where Florida will take possession with 2:42 to go in the third period. A 15-yard return by the freshman from Tampa.
Yeah, we just really want to only play 15 minutes of football, right?
Yeah, we'd like to see just a clean ball game for 15 minutes with the officials not having an opportunity to blow another call.
Well, they have to make a judgment one way or the other. He was either down or he fumbled, and they just didn't rule it down. Which takes it over.
Which is a little different than early in the ball game when everything was down.
Garthon, the ball carrier, across the 30 to the 33. Boulware in on the stop again for Florida State. Came into the game with 97 tackles.
Nat, remember when we used to talk about all the time that offenses were going with a no huddle?
Right.
We don't even mention it anymore because everybody does it.
Good point. The Gators come to the line of scrimmage. Lee gets the play call from the sideline. This pass caught by O.J. Small. Florida State had that play well covered as Leroy Smith was biding his time back there and measuring O.J. Small and made sure that Small didn't get much out of it.
Florida State zone coverage, so your outside guy can let a vertical threat go and come back to the football when he's got safety help.
They're down at 5 for the Gators. A 3-man rush for Florida State. They get pressure on the quarterback, and Lee is denied the first down at the 37. Well, good pressure by the three-man rush. If you can get that kind of heat with just three, then you're doing a pretty good job on defense.
Yeah, to be fair, though, when you rush three and you've only got to pick up 5 yards, you know, sometimes the option of the quarterback taking off is a better option than trying to throw the football. Lead comes up just a little bit short there.
Freshman Eric Wilbur ready to punt the ball away. And he bangs this one out of there. Leon Washington calls for and makes the fair catch at the 20. 44 yards on the punt by the freshman. And Florida State takes over at its own 20-yard line with 52 seconds to play in the third quarter.
And now we see both defenses starting to reestablish themselves as we've had 2 defensive scores. Florida's forced to punt the ball again. Let's see if Florida's defense can now put the clamps on Florida State's offense.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Chris Ricks under center, 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Seminoles. Leon Washington is the tailback along with Coleman, the fullback, who's been in there all day out of this I formation. Washington hit behind the line of scrimmage and driven back. That was Darrell Lee, the first man there, and Marcus Thomas.
This, once again, is what happens when you get the team backed up. They go with double tight. You've got everybody in the middle. It gives the Gators a better chance of squeezing everything down as we see Darrell Lee making the tackle coming from his defensive end position.
Well, you can obviously tell that defensive coordinator Charlie Strong again is going to make Florida State move the ball through the air, not on the ground as they were doing in the first half.
Look at the line. All those blue shirts up on the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 10. Ricks will throw it. And he's got Robinson. A beautiful throw by Chris Ricks. Robinson with the catch and out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
That's a hot read off of the blitz. You throw to a spot, you really hope your receiver gets there. He better.
Well, this is just a great throw by Chris Ricks. I mean, he gets pressure, but like you say, he's throwing to a spot. And the receiver goes unmolested down the sideline. In our game.
Brand new game. Florida State gets it first. Searching for their 10th win of the year. The Atlantic Coast Conference champions for the 11th time in 12 years in the ACC. Let's go back to our quarterback comparison. Ricks has still only thrown the ball 9 times, but has been very efficient when throwing it. And Leak having a big day. On a fake to Washington. Now Washington, the receiver, and hit out of bounds by Crowder after a gain of about 6 yards.
Nice check down by Chris Ricks that time. He was trying to throw a corner route up the field. It was covered. He dumped it out to the secondary receiver. Left-hand side. There's a corner route being run at the top of your screen. Doesn't see it. Throws it outside. Positive yardage.
Second and 5 for Ricks and the Seminoles. Washington up the middle. He was hit by Reed Fleming near the line of scrimmage. Washington driving forward to the 45-yard line, a couple of yards short of a first down. And they spot the ball at the 46. Nothing fancy, just out of the I formation. Florida State has been using those 3 tailbacks all afternoon long. Washington, Booker, Jones trying to grind it out against the Gators on a cold November night. Third down as Florida State just 1 for 7 on third down conversions in this game. Washington hit behind the line, trying to drive forward, but 5 or 6 blue shirts push him back. And I don't know if his forward progress was enough.
It will not be. And Florida State early here in the fourth quarter will have a decision to make. Great play at the point of attack by Reed Fleming, filling nicely.
Nice job by Reed Fleming to hit him up high and driving him backwards, not going down low where he falls forward, hits him high, drives him back, gets some help from his teammates, stopping him short of the first down.
And the decision is made on the Florida State sideline. They will punt the football on 4th down and inches. Jesse Stein will punt. Yuan Ratliff stands deep at the 15. And the punter Stein goes down and the flag is dropped. The fair catch is made at the 10-yard line. And Stein pumping his fist. He did a nice job to draw the penalty. There was not much contact from Bobby McCray. We'll get another look in a moment.
This is a simple 5-yard variety. McCray was doing everything he could to get out of the way.
And he's actually pushed into the kicker. If you look at the left side of your screen, you'll see Bobby McCray's pushed into Stein, and he gets called for the penalty. Tough break for the senior from Homestead, Florida. If you look up to the top of your screen.
Running into the kicker by the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. The yardage results in a first down.
So a break again for Florida State as the Gators. McCray runs into Stein. Well, I got to give Stein a lot of credit there. He went down like somebody hit him with a howitzer.
Well, that's his job. You know, he's part kicker, part actor, and you know that's what you train your kickers to do. Any pressure, you go down and hope you get the call.
Ball at the 49-yard line in Florida territory, and it's Booker. Not much yardage that time.
That's the third first down today for the Seminoles off of Gator penalties.
Now, those kind of mistakes in a close game, a big rivalry like this, can cost you the game.
Anytime you get into games of this nature, mistakes usually will dictate particularly who gets and or keeps momentum.
Booker once again in the backfield. Play action as Ricks looks to throw. He finds Booker, and what a tackle in the open field by Gus Scott. He just came flying through there like a helicopter. He came back in there real quick, and Booker had no chance to make a play.
Well, once he saw the release of the football, he's sitting back in the zone, reading the coverage. He sees the release of the football. Now watch the break on the football. Great open field tackle as Booker tries to avoid the tackle, and he gets down around the legs.
Man, that is a big-time play right there. By Gus Scott, 3rd down and 11. Robinson comes wide to the right. P.K. Sam to the left for Florida State. And Lorenzo Booker on the fake toss. Ricks looking to throw it deep for P.K. Sam. And it is overthrown at the 5-yard line. Good coverage by Daryl Dixon. He was not fooled on the play fake. And Florida State will punt the ball again.
Florida's defense does a great job of reacting to that penalty, having to come back on, and Florida State's offense 3 and out.
A nice job by Daryl Dixon of finding the receiver, locating the football, and making sure that if he can't catch it, the receiver don't have an opportunity to catch it.
Stein gets it away again. Ratliff calls for the fair catch and makes it inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. So the Gators once again will have it deep in their territory after a 42-yard punt, a beautiful punt by Jesse Stein. Florida backed up inside its 10 with 11:25 to play in a tie game with the Seminoles.
Honey, don't forget tomorrow's garbage day.
Hey, 24-24. Sunshine Network, the home of the Orlando Magic. Tune in Tuesday as T-Mac and the Magic face off against Baron Davis and the New Orleans Hornets. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Bob Dance, Suzuki Magic tonight, and hopefully the nightmare will end. That would be the 15-game losing streak I'm referring to, guys.
We were thinking the same thing down there in Miami watching the Heat.
Well, a great punt by Jesse Stein has Florida backed up inside its 10-yard line. Stein has made made a habit of that this year. He's done a terrific job running the ball for Florida State. Now the Gators with Chris Leak at quarterback. And Leak looking to throw. He's got Ben Troop. Troop at the 35 with the 40. And Carter is there to drive him down at the 47-yard line. Well, this guy has some amazing speed for a man his size, doesn't he?
Well, Ben Troop has amazing speed, but the confidence that Ed Zonbrecker has in Chris Leak backed up inside your own 10-yard line to go play action and throw the football, and a perfectly thrown football to Ben Troop for 39 yards.
Well, he outran the linebacker, Ray Pecune. There's Caldwell making a man miss, stepping over the midfield stripe to the 47-yard line of Florida State. About 6 yards.
And from the inception of the play, really didn't look like much. Good blocking out front. Nice job of avoiding the tackle, getting back into the play by Caldwell, picking up 6 yards.
Nice block out there by Carlos Perez, too. Allowing Caldwell the time to turn his shoulders back upfield and get positive yardage.
They set up the screen to Faison. And Seatric Faison has the Florida first down, goes head-to-head with a Seminole defender at the 35-yard line. And the Gators are deep in Florida State territory now with 10:16 to go, a 13-yard play.
And guys, what do you do when you have a speedy defense? You use a lot of misdirection, a lot of little trick stuff. You get them running one way, you screen it back the other way, and then get the ball into your running back hands that does the most with it, which has been Seatric Faison of late, and he picks up another Gator first down.
Old books of draws and screens.
Big rolling left, shovels it forward. Carthon to the 19 of Florida State. Alan Augustin made a nice play. That was a misdirection, and had a lot of folks scratching their head on that Florida State side of the field.
Well, we've seen Chris Leak run the option, and then we've seen him run the shovel pass back inside after stretching the defense to Rand Carthon for another Gator first down.
Everybody gets excited about that play, Nat, but if it doesn't go anywhere, if the receiver doesn't catch it, it's a forward pass incomplete.
With the handoff to the fullback, Carthon running hard inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. Florida's offense has a lot of momentum right now. Ed Zonbrecker seems to have things in a nice rhythm.
You know, I just heard Keith talk about that shovel pass, the nice thing for the running back, or if it falls to the ground, being the next running back, that's not the nice thing, because sometimes if the defense is not full, the running back gets punished.
Yeah, steps up right there in the linebacker.
I'm just setting you up for that.
Timeout Florida State with 9:50 to play, and Mickey Andrews calls the troops over for a little regrouping. Florida marching it down the field and sitting at the FSU 11-yard line. Second down and 4 when we come back. Early in the fourth quarter, but Florida is knocking on the door at the Florida State 11. Season tickets for 2003-2004 FSU men's and women's basketball now on sale. And to order your tickets for this action-packed season, call one of the numbers on your screen or simply go online at Seminoles.com. On this drive, Chris Leak has completed 4 out of 4 passes for 64 yards. And this will be the 6th play on this drive, which, remember, started back at the 7-yard line. The first play, the long pass completion to tight end Ben Troop. Seminoles digging in. They bring 4 on the rush. Leak is rolling out, now getting pressure and throwing it deep for the end zone, and he throws it away.
And that's the maturity of Chris Leak, where early in the year he was taking the sacks. He was not getting outside the pocket. He realized that once he gets outside the tackles, he can throw the ball away as long as it goes up past the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the young man.
And a third down play coming. The first down marker is at the 8. Leak having a big day in his first opportunity to go against the Florida State Seminoles. Leak rifles it for the end zone. Incomplete. Dropped by Troop. That was a sure 6 and an uncharacteristic drop by the big fella.
And how many times can Florida State not cover number 84?
Beautiful route ran by Ben Troop. Perfectly thrown football just off his fingertips. And I think he might have saw a blur of number 23, Jerome Carter, out of the corner of his eye. And lost concentration on the football.
It'll be a 29-yard field goal attempt by Leach, who has already hit from 47 twice and from 42. Missed one from 48. Well, there's contact on the line, and that might go against Florida State for being offsides. Unless there was an offensive player on the Gators who drew him, which is always a possibility. The officials are talking about it. Florida State pointing at the men in blue, and Florida thinks it's going to go the other way. This would be a big penalty if it's on Florida.
Good ball foul, offside by contact on the defense. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And mistakes creep up again, this time on Florida State.
There you see it.
A.J. Nicholson.
A.J. Nicholson as well as Dockett. Both jumped offside. I think Darnell just didn't make contact where A.J. did.
Well, only 5 penalties per team, but there have been some costly ones on both sides. And so the Gators have first down and goal at the Florida State 7. And Carthon, the tailback, gets the handoff and gets hit by Womble at the line of scrimmage. That is just a great play by the senior out of Dunwoody, Georgia.
Womble doesn't get that many tackles for loss because he's usually double teamed, but he has a great job that time of getting down low, not letting the offensive lineman get to his legs. He gets off the block quickly and moves upfield.
That is a loss of a yard. So it's second and goal from the 8.
And when you're trying to throw the football, a loss of a yard gives you a few more yards to throw the football to run patterns in the back of the end zone.
He will throw. He looks for Small and overshoots him in the corner of the end zone. Now it'll be third down and goal from the 8. Florida trying to take the lead with 8:47 to play, and offensive coordinator Ed Zomberger attempting to signal in a play that will get them 6 points. They've already had a chance for a field goal, but a Florida State penalty gave them first and goal inside the 10-yard line.
This is a big play, gang. A big play.
It's third and goal from the FSU 8. Leak shovels it forward. This time the Seminoles are not fooled. Boy, an excellent play by Kendall Pope. Another one of those experienced Florida State linebackers. He just was not going to be fooled on that shovel pass again, man.
And one of the things that happens, if you're a senior, you've seen this before, you got burned, you're not going to get burned again. And there you see Kendall Pope staying at home, waiting for the ball to be pitched, making the play.
Fool me once, you've done good. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Now this will be a 28-yard attempt. The one a moment ago was going to be from 29, so the Gators picked up 1 yard. And Matt Leach's kick is good, right through the uprights. Florida takes the lead 27-24, but a moral victory, if nothing else, for the Florida State defense as they keep the Gators out of the end zone with a lot of time left in the football game. Leach has hit 4 field goals today. In the fourth period, Florida State's defense stopping the Gators, though. Florida had a first and goal at the 7 and was unable to put the ball into the end zone. And Mickey Andrews took a timeout to talk with his troops, and they did a terrific job. Let's go to the field and Steve Babick.
Well, David, a trademark of Florida State's defense in the red zone. Very stingy when it comes to giving up touchdowns. Only 29% this year have they given up touchdowns. And conversely, the Gator offense in the red zone scoring 6, only 50%. So FSU did pretty well in that stand right there.
But Steve, the Gators had been 7 touchdowns in their last 10 attempts in the red zone coming into today's game. So that's a great effort by Florida State's defense. And the Gators had a chance to get a touchdown before that penalty that gave them 1st and goal at the 7.
And this is a perfectly thrown football that Ben Troop just not able to hang on to, that forces the Gators to settle for field goals. And we all know that if you continue to get down there and you keep coming out with field goals, eventually it gets you beat.
Well, that's the best kick by Matt Petrovich tonight as he keeps it away from Leon Washington. And sails it through the end zone. A little pushing and shoving going on up around midfield, but no flags are thrown. And job well done by Matt Petrovich. One of Florida State's greatest weapons today has been Washington on the return.
Florida State has enjoyed great field position off of kickoff returns. This time they'll start from their own 20.
Here comes the junior, Chris Ricks. Washington will be his tailback. The numbers on Ricks today, and he has not thrown an interception, but he did fumble once, which was a costly mistake, picked up and returned 77 yards for a touchdown by Kawan Ratliff. Ricks throws a bullet. Robinson with the catch. Dominic Robinson has played a solid game today. He's made a couple of big catches, this one for 14 yards. He's not going to replace Crow Thorpe, but he's played awfully well.
Florida State is going to have to throw the ball a little better over the middle. That time a little curl route. It's been open, and Florida State's not taking advantage of it.
Well, Matt Farrier just continually to get lost on defense whenever they go to a zone defense. You know, you're expecting for your linebacker to be there in the slot and force the quarterback to have to throw around you, and Matt Farrier just didn't get there.
All right, let's go to the sideline and check in with Tom Block.
Proper notification.
David, there's a lot of talk about how much of the game does Bobby Bowden really coach. Well, prior to that drive, he was on the headsets, told Jeff Bowden, let's work the middle of the field, throw the square inch. Got 14 yards in the first one. We'll see what Florida does now.
He's got Sam split wide to the right. Bobby Bowden looking on from the sideline. Dominic Robinson is split wide to the left. Play action fake to Washington. Sam with the catch. Another Florida State first down at the Florida 47-yard line. P.K. Sam, a junior from Buford, Georgia. And he's a guy that has come on really strong of late. Had 10 catches early in the year against Colorado. Had 5 big catches against NC State.
Once again, you see the linebacker doesn't get a good drop. They bite the play action fake. Channing Crowder gets sucked up as well as Reed Fleming. Big hole in the middle of the field.
I guess when Daddy speaks, son does listen.
And it's a good thing. Florida State moving it now, back-to-back first downs. There was a lot of movement on the line, and a flag is thrown. Robinson, an outstanding catch at the 36-yard line, and then steps out of bounds. But we'll check the flag.
Well, normally if that's procedure, they'll stop the play. If they let it continue, it's normally defensive offsides.
By the defense, that penalty is refused. First down.
That's exactly the case. Florida State picking up the first down at the Florida 36-yard line. And Chris Ricks throwing the ball around, zipping it in there. 2 passes to Robinson, 1 to Sam. And Seminoles have moved it from their 20-yard line all the way to the Florida 36 in short order. They line up in the eye again. The Gators rush 4. Ricks over the middle. Man is wide open. It's Booker coming out of the backfield all the way down. No, it's not Booker. It's the
Donnie Carter.
Carter coming out and catching the ball at the 2-yard line. The Seminoles are first and goal.
We've seen Florida State go to their tight end twice now. Once on the right-hand side, Matt Henshaw with the touchdown reception. This time, Donnie Carter, nothing fancy, just finding the middle of the field, his 5th reception in 12 ball games.
Wow. And the Gators come out in a two-deep zone. Not one linebacker got a drop, and it was just another easy pitch and catch for the quarterback and the tight end.
Leon Washington hurdling over the top.
Ball
came out. Let's see who got it. Well, a Florida player has come out of there. Crowder with the football, but
well, Crowder's going to get, not that it's going to matter because it'll be half the distance, but he spiked the ball and it's up around the 50-yard line.
Halfway to Niceville. And Ron Zook's talking with the young fellow right now, telling him to calm down.
Well, you know, it's easy for us to sit up here and say that, but when the ball's bouncing around time after time again, and the officials are making bad calls.
Recovered by the fumbler, making it second down. We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalty against the defense. Half the distance to the goal, second down.
Referee Jack Childress seems a little bit upset with the guys in the blue uniforms.
Let's take a look, see if we can see exactly what happened here as the ball comes out.
My goodness.
And usually, no, gee whiz, I'll tell you what, that's very presumptuous.
Remember, Nat, if both players have the ball, it goes to the offense.
Since when? I never got it that way.
That's the rule.
Gee whiz.
That's the rule.
Usually whoever's the strongest at the bottom of the pile gets the fumble recovery. And that time, Channing Crowder came up with it.
Well, the penalty puts the ball inside the 2. And Chris Ricks under center will keep it and get very little. But let's see if he got enough. No touchdown signal as they unstack them. Florida's defense really charged up down there, upset with what they perceive to be a bad whistle today against their arch rival.
Well, guys, I mean, at a certain point, you know, it's hard not to say that these guys have blown so many calls, especially a call of this magnitude down, going in where you give the ball back to Florida State, even though a Florida player comes out with the football. And understand what you're saying, but they're both underneath fighting for the ball, and no one really has control of it.
But if they blow it dead,
here's another look at it.
I'm not agreeing or disagreeing
Here
with the
comes
call.
the ball out, and let's see who has the football. He doesn't have the football right there. Blue has the ball right there.
There, guys.
I think
right there's the ball. There's the ball.
Well, they've given it to Florida State.
And then he roots it out after the play.
Okay. Well, easy, boys. Let's get along now.
Don't tackle me.
We'll be back in a minute with 5:50 to go and Florida State threatening. It'll be Leon Washington in the tailback position. You see Florida State's numbers in the red zone. 4 opportunities and a touchdown and a field goal today.
But guys, I have a question to ask. You know, if on the play where Washington tried to go up and over, the ball comes out, you call a penalty half the distance to the goal, isn't that an automatic first down?
Not on a sportsman. That's just tacked on.
I thought it would have been too. I was surprised.
Well, I hope you're right. And they finally got a call right tonight.
I think. Now maybe I'm wrong. Which would be consistent with every other call that's been made by anybody today.
Oh, man.
That football resting inside the 1. Crowder trying to get his teammates fired up for this 3rd down and goal play. Fullback is Coleman, Washington the tailback, Ricks the quarterback. Hand off to Washington. Hit behind the line, but he scoots near the goal line, but still no signal. And apparently he did not get in the end zone. So it brings up 4th down for Florida State. And Chris Ricks looking toward the sideline and looking for the field goal team or a play. Let's get another look.
And here's another look. Good action down inside. Good call by the official from that angle. Looked like he's down right there, and then he reaches the ball across.
But he's not down. He's laying on top of the defender. I don't think he got in.
He got in for the touchdown. Chris Ricks, the quarterback sneak for the score. A 4th down and inches, and Ricks pushes it in.
Well, and everybody's starting to do that little thing now, Nat, where the quarterback will take the ball and jump it over, because even if you knock it out of his hands, as long as he breaks the plane, he gets credited with the score.
And everybody's trying to get down and under to get penetration, so it's a lot easier just reach the ball across and get the touchdown.
And no question about that when Ricks clearly got the ball across the plane. I think his extra point is good. And Florida State takes the 31-27 lead with 5:01 left in the 4th quarter. Well, expect a wild finish. Anything might happen from now on. Tickets remain, so call now 352-375-GO-UF and order your tickets.
Guys, as we start to look at the clock, you got to think about the timeout situation where the Gators spun a couple timeouts in the 3rd quarter, and so has Florida State here already in the 2nd half. So both teams only have 1 timeout left as we go down the final minutes of the ball game.
5:01, ample time though to drive the football down the field. Plenty of time, even with just 1 timeout. Here's the Pooch kick. Up short, and it will be fumbled by a Florida up man, but then recovered. That is Skylar Thornton, the backup tailback. And the Gators get good field position, but they need a touchdown to take the lead with 4:54 left.
Very, very fortunate that Skylar Thornton, once he muffed this football, it bounces right back up to him, and he's able to catch it and pick it up and get upfield. But you want to fair catch that football. Don't take any chances at that point. You already got great field position.
I can't remember a game where there were so many fumbles that were controversial, whether they were fumbles, whether they were recovered by one team, whether they should have been a fumble or not a fumble. Can you guys remember so many plays like that in one game? Luke pump fakes and throwing deep for Carlos Perez, overfires at the 25-yard line.
Now, I've not seen that myself, David, and you hate for the game to be taken away on either side by the officials, but that's part of the game. They make mistakes the same as everybody else. Chris Leak tried to get the ball down the field. Carlos Perez on an out and up, had him open, but just slightly overthrown.
Now it's 2nd and 10. Florida operating from its 40-yard line, trailing 31-27. Leak steps up in the pocket. He'll run it this time. He got a block from O.J. Small and got a 1st down to the FSU 49. Well, spot him down around the 47. 14-yard run for the freshman quarterback. Samuels, the primary tackler there. Florida lines up, 4:36 left. They still have 1 timeout remaining. Hand off to Rand Carthon. Steps over a defender to the 40 and then taken down at the 38-yard line by B.J. Ward.
Rand Carthon just does such a great job of tucking in behind the big tackle on the pull. He runs that play of the 3 backs. He runs it better than all of them. Maybe it's because he doesn't have as much speed, so it's easier for him to change direction and get back in the hole.
It's difficult. Every running back has their favorite type of running play, and that one just suits him.
Carthon should have been hit and stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but somehow got away from Darnell Dockett. Managed to get across the 37 down to around the 36-yard line, and that's good for a 1st down. Good second effort by Rand Carthon.
Of course, you notice that Florida going with their senior running back. Experience, hanging on to the football.
Well, it's crunch time, and that's what you want to do. Put the ball in the hands of a guy that you've got a lot of confidence in that won't make a mistake, won't put the ball on the ground.
Carthon again the ball carrier. Taken down by Augustin at the 33-yard line. I tell you, Augustin and Pope and Boulware have played sound football again today for Florida State. O.J. Small looking for a block on the corner. Out of bounds at the 28-yard line. It'll be 2 yards short of a first down. It'll be third down coming up for the Gators.
Well, O.J. Small had an opportunity to maybe split him and get the first down, but he tried to bounce it outside instead of taking on the contact. You know, you've got to know what you need for the first down. Turn it up, go north and south. The defense of this caliber wants you to run east and west.
Big play here. The Gators need to take the ball inside the 26 to get the 1st and 10. And Leak will keep it and be hit behind the line of scrimmage and stop well short of the first down. Well, number 27, an excellent job, Claudius Osei, with the hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Florida will probably consider taking their last time out because this is going to end up being 4th down. As you see the tail end of the play there. There is a player down.
Great play by Osei.
And guys, you know what we sometimes we start to look at the ball game, we forget about the X's and O's by the coaches. That time Mickey Andrews actually had Osei coming on a blitz. If he's back where he's supposed to be, you've got the right play on, you pick up the first down. But because they're bringing him on a delayed blitz where he's coming before the quarterback comes out. Now watch number 27.
Left-hand side.
Left inside. He's coming on a blitz, so he's in perfect position to make the play. Good call by Mickey Andrews.
And then Kendall Pope comes up to make sure that Leak cannot drive forward for the first down. Mickey Andrews, longtime defensive coordinator for the Seminoles.
Malone is down.
Now he's limping
down for Florida.
A key guy on that offensive line. Not a starter, but a guy that gets a lot of snaps.
And I do mean man. 6'7", 310.
Malone was lined up on the right side, giving Randy Hand a breather.
All right, so the Gators now with the ball at the 28, they will go for the first down on 4th down and 2. Remember, they need about the 26-yard line. Trailing by 4 with 3:06 to go in the 4th period. Here comes the blitz. Leak rolling left. Leak looking for the marker, hit by Pope, and they mark him at the 26.5. It's going to be very close.
Oh.
It depends upon the spot, and I mean we are on right on top of it here in the press box.
Well, here's another look at it, and let's see exactly where he goes out, because it looked to me as if he got to the 25-yard line.
I can't tell from those angles. But in any event, they spotted it at the 26.5, and here come the change from the opposite side of the field, and a very important measurement coming up.
I don't want to be a guy in a striped shirt if this is short. Because wherever they live, they may not get there.
Well, the crowd is already restless. But it is a first down for the Gators.
Well, the Gators get the first down, but guys, I know I've got old eyes. I've got 4 eyes on it. It was not that close.
Oh, boy. Are you taking your heart medicine?
Hey, you know what? What did I start this opening with? I had my blue and orange on. He had his maroon and gold, crimson and gold. So no matter what you say, our hearts are in it.
All right, the Gators with the first down are at the 25.5-yard line. Leak throwing it over the top for Ben Troop. Touchdown! And that was a very close play. Let's get another look at this one.
Another perfectly thrown football by Chris Leak as he leads Ben Troop into the back of the end zone. He just did get that right foot down right here for the touchdown.
I tell you, the back judge was this close to waving it incomplete. The extra point by Matt Leach is good, and the Gators go up by a field goal with an eternity left in this football game.
Well, David, if he'd have ruled that one incomplete, he was in the wrong end of the end zone.
Well, what a
beautifully thrown football and a good catch by Big Ben Troop to put the Gators ahead. But guys, there's 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this ball game, and the Gators have not been able to stop the Seminoles here of late.
And if you're Mickey Andrews and his staff, you've got to be wondering how many times do you have to tell your kids when the big play time comes, when you're playing Florida, when you're playing Miami, or when you're playing Virginia, they're going to look to the tight end. They did have proper coverage on. Jerome Carter was matched up with Troop, but
I don't know what you could do there.
I'm not sure you could do anything.
That was an incredible throw by the freshman quarterback.
The best thing that you could say is they let Troop get off the line of scrimmage without a bump.
Yeah.
You know, you probably want to consider putting somebody over the top of him if for no other reason to slow him up.
You're right. You see football on Sunday, Nat. You don't see it done any better on Sundays by Leak and Troop right there.
Well, there's no question about that, but you know, when you've got a player, you've got to know who that big play guy is. If Thorpe had not gotten hurt, you would say playing Florida State, the game's on the line, you know that Thorpe's going to get the ball. Playing Florida, game's on the line. You know they want to get the ball to Troop. So you cannot allow him to get behind the defense. You've got to keep everything in front of you, come up and make the tackle.
What a football game. Man, 2:50 left in the fourth quarter. Florida kicking off to Florida State. And again, watch for the return as Washington standing back. And there's Bethia hoping to get a chance to send this game into overtime if Chris Ricks and company can't take it in for a touchdown. It is Washington from a couple of yards deep. Leon Washington hit at the 25 and taken down at the 27-yard line. 28-yard return. And that's where Florida State will take the football.
And the problem that Florida has now, they have to defend the whole field, but even a field goal will tie the ball game. So Chris Ricks, with this Seminole offense, need to pick up 4 or 5 first downs to get into field goal range.
They need to get at least to about the 30-yard line for Bethia. Right now they're at their own 28. Florida State, Chris Ricks, Lorenzo Booker, the tailback. And it's Booker getting the handoff. Booker taking it to the outside, tripped up by Dixon as he crosses the 30-yard line. About a 5-yard gain by Lorenzo Booker.
Good open field tackle by Daryl Dixon as Booker tried to spin on him. Daryl Dixon, leading tackler for the Gators this year from his free safety slot.
Florida State taking an awful lot of time to get the play in.
They have 1 timeout remaining. That was a gain of 4 by Booker. This time the backs are split. Booker and Coleman. Out of the shotgun, Ricks fumbles it, and down he goes at the 24-yard line. Well, we haven't seen much shotgun offense, Keith, and that might be why.
Looked like he just took his eyes off the football there.
Now trying to look downfield a little too much. Yeah, right there. He's looking right dead at us and not at the football.
Now a huge play for the Seminoles. 3rd down and 14 from the 24. Ricks looking, throwing over the middle of the field for Sam. Incomplete. Well, he had a step on the defender. Ricks threw it a couple of yards too long. And it's 4th down for Florida State with 1:23 left. They need 14 yards for a first down, and they might have to go for it here.
Well, the Gators dodge a bullet as Rick fakes out to the right, and then Sam gets behind the defense and just flat misses him. He pump fakes out to the left, and then he misses PK Sam down the middle of the field as he gets behind Gus Scott, running wide open for a potential touchdown.
All right, so Florida State with one timeout left. 1:23 on the clock. Will have to go for it on 4th and 14. Greg Jones is now in the backfield. A three-man rush by the Gators. Ricks' pass is caught by Robinson. He keeps the drive alive at the 48-yard line.
Time will stop as they move the chains, but Florida State will again have to hurry up.
And David, my question is to the Gators, why are they playing a zone defense? Because they don't get the drops, they don't get deep enough. It's plenty of time for the quarterback to throw the football. You want to force him into making a mistake. If you give Chris Ricks time, he's a pretty accurate passer.
Big catch by the man replacing Thorpe, who's had a nice day. Ricks rolling, looking to throw deep, fires it deep for Sam again. And it is caught for a touchdown. .52 yards on the pass from Ricks to Sam.
And this is what happens when you allow Chris Ricks time to throw the football. He's got plenty of time. He steps up, perfectly throw football. Great adjustment by Sams as Gus Scott's not able to get it out.
That is a great adjustment, and we've talked about it all during the ball game. Chris Ricks is feast or famine. He makes a great play. He makes a poor play. He makes a great play.
The extra point by Bethia is good, and Florida State has taken the lead 38-34 with 55 seconds left and a remarkable football game.
You know, I go back to Florida State 2 weeks ago in that double overtime contest with North Carolina State. You got to believe that hopefully the kids are knowing that, you know, it's never over. Anything can happen. And if you're Florida, you still got 55 seconds and one timeout as well.
But at a point like this where you are beat, if you're Gus Scott, you've got to get the interference penalty. You cannot allow him the opportunity to catch the football. You make the play, you take the 15-yard penalty, you line up and play another down. You cannot allow the receiver to catch the football.
And you know, the senior is probably thinking just that, among other things, right now. What a throw, though, by Chris Ricks, and PK Sam with the biggest catch of his career. And perhaps the biggest touchdown pass in the career of Chris Ricks.
You know who's back home probably not able to contain himself is Crefonzo Thorpe.
Yeah.
In Tallahassee, unable to make the trip. The doctors would not let him, would not allow him to travel.
And here the guy stepping up. Robinson made a nice catch the previous play to get the first down. And then Sam with the touchdown reception from Chris Ricks to give the Seminoles a 38-34 advantage. Florida has one timeout left when they get the ball back.
Well, guys, Gus Scott has been such a warrior, such a trooper. You know, guy caused the fumble earlier today with a script that Kewan Rattle was able to pick up and run in. I mean, he's been such a great player. You sure would hate for his career to end with everybody thinking about the play that was just made by PK Sam. You know,
it'll be a tough way to go out. One of the 22 seniors playing their final game at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium today. Gus Scott. Mayfield set to kick it off.
But write it down, gang. It ain't quite over yet.
No question about that. This game has been too wild to make any of those types of assumptions. Andre Caldwell bringing it out to the 20, bouncing it outside to the 30. A nice return by the freshman. He's out of bounds at the 31-yard line. He uses 7 seconds of the clock. And now 48 ticks of the clock left here in Gainesville.
And a great block by Seatric Faison to spring him for an additional 10-12 yards as he bounced it outside.
The only redeeming thing we can say about the officiating, Nat, is I don't recall there being any blocking fouls on kickoff returns, kick returns, punt returns.
Florida lines up with Chris Leak, who's had an incredible afternoon and evening, working out of the shotgun. Leak's pass is intended for Kite. It hit someone on the helmet. I think it might have hit Rufus Brown right on the head and popped up into the air.
I think Rufus jumped underneath that out route real quick. Yeah. Could have nearly been pass interference as well.
Hit him right on top of the helmet, ricocheted out of bounds, so it's second down. Ball at the 31-yard line.
Somebody please cover the tight end.
Leak pump fakes, now steps up. He's going to have to run it. And down he goes at the 37-yard line with the clock ticking, and Florida going to have to use its final timeout.
Well, he would like to get the ball to Kelvin Kite on the outside. Kelvin Kite is running a little out and up, and he gets behind Rufus Brown, but Chris Leak's forced to scramble, not able to get the ball to him.
By that time, Leak had already made up his mind and was headed up the field. So the Gators use their final timeout. What a
If I'm Florida State Mickey Andrews, I'm watching 84.
Well, a big play guy for the Gators this year in crucial situations has been Carlos Perez. We haven't seen much from Carlos here tonight. Opportune time for Carlos to step up.
He's down at the bottom of your screen on 3rd down and 4. No timeouts remaining now for the Gators. And the pass is caught by Caldwell to pick up the first down and stop the clock momentarily. 26 seconds to go. Gators hustle up to the line of scrimmage. They're near midfield. The official set to put it in play. The clock starts. And Leak will try and throw the football. Leak scrambling and will get out of bounds at the 50 with 17 seconds left in the game. Well, just a moment ago, Chris Ricks completed a 52-yard pass into the end zone to P.K. Sam, and now Chris Leak is going to try and do the same thing.
But the difference in what we're seeing right now is they're dropping 8, rushing 3, they're getting everybody back, deep drops, keeping everything in front of them. When you go play a soft zone, you got to keep everything in front of you, get everybody looking at the quarterback.
And the reason for that is a 4-point differential, not a 3-point. Florida has to score a touchdown.
And Leak firing it for Kelvin Kite, but he overshoots everybody with 9 seconds left in the game. It'll be 3rd down at midfield.
And one of the problems that happens when you use your timeouts or waste your timeouts early in the ball game, it forces you to have to throw the ball outside, because if you throw the ball down the middle of the field, the clock runs out. So the Gators, wasting a couple timeouts in the 3rd quarter, now is coming back to haunt them.
And to use their last timeout a moment ago after Leak scrambled to avoid getting sacked and could not find a receiver. Well, here we go. It's 3rd down and 7 from the 50. Leak scrambling out of pressure, throwing it on the run down the sideline. It's incomplete. And now with 1 second left in the game, the Gators will have one final opportunity to try and pull a victory here against Bobby Bowden's Seminoles, who, well, you got to give them credit. They have battled back several times after the Gators took the lead in the second half. And Florida State now will use its final timeout to make sure that they've got things lined up defensively.
Well, they're doing that as well, but also they're doing that so everybody gets a quick breather and they don't get in a bad position because of fatigue.
Well, the play of the game is brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers, and there's not much question about what the play of the game is there?
Not pretty, not the way you draw it up. Just 2 players connecting. Could have gone either way, but Sam makes a great adjustment to move back to his left.
College football on Sunshine Network has been brought to you in part by. And the Gators have to throw the ball into the end zone, and Hope a Hail Mary connects. Florida lines up 3 men to the right.
Hadn't ESPN been running all those last-minute votes for the greatest last-second play? Hopefully this won't be added to it.
Luke looking to throw. He spins away. He's going to run the football. He's got to take it all the way or this game is over. And the Seminoles surround him and bring him down at the 18-yard line, sealing the victory in the swamp.
Florida State fortunate, guys. Both teams, it was kind of like he who had the ball last would win. Chris Ricks took them 80 yards on one drive, a long 59-yard touchdown pass on another, and Florida State wins by 4.
Two well-played, two teams that played the game exceptionally well. No one gave up. They kept on playing, and at the end, just ran out of time, and looked like their tempers have started to flare out on the football field.
That's just uncalled for. Get in the dugout or get in the locker room, guys. Just turn and walk away. Just turn and walk away.
This is something that you hate to see after a great ball game like this, where both teams played their heart out.
It's getting ugly, and the folks are having a hard time trying to separate some of the players down in midfield. So a hard-fought football game, and they're still fighting even after the game is over. But Chris Leak not involved as he congratulates Ernie Sims and the Florida State Seminoles. Bobby Bowden gets his 10th win of the year for the 18th time in his career. He's won 10 or more. So a big victory for Florida State. They win it 38-34 in a wild contest here in the swamp. Thanks to our great Sunshine Network crew. I'm David Steele for Keith Jones and Nat Moore. Thanks for watching, everyone, here on Sunshine Network.
Hey! The Gators, Mick Hubert.
Hi again, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mick Hubert, along with Gator football coach Ron Zook. We welcome you to Florida Football Highlights. Well, it was one of the most thrilling games in the long history of the series between Florida and Florida State. 5 lead changes. The game was tied twice. Ron, congratulations on a tremendous effort in a most difficult day.
Well, it really was. I'm proud of our players, Mick. I really am. It was a hard-fought game. It was a well-played game in some instances, not as well. But we hung in there till the end, and that's when you're playing big games like that, it comes down to a couple plays, and that's exactly what happened yesterday.
Florida State comes away with a 38-34 victory, and we'll come right back and show you the highlight.
The Bobby Bowden Show is brought to you by Bill's Bookstore. For the best selection of fashions and gifts, order online at billsbookstore.com. By your Florida Dodge dealers, a proud sponsor of Seminole football. By Coca-Cola, the preferred soft drink of the Florida State Seminoles. Coca-Cola, enjoy. By the Simply Orange Juice Company. Simply Orange Juice. Bobby Bowden.
Hello and welcome to the Bobby Bowden Show. The news is great in the land of the Seminoles. Florida State goes down to Gainesville and at Griffin Stadium turns in a 38-34 thrilling victory over arch rival Florida. And Coach, I think the land of the Seminoles is very happy on this Sunday that Florida State was able to go down to Gainesville and do something that's very tough to do, beat Florida.
Well, I drove back after the game with Bill Smith, and I said, Bill, it's the 14th time we've done this out of 28 years. I said, we've come back some very unhappy experiences, but this was a very excited time to be coming back.
And Coach, for the first time since 1980, we go down and win in Gainesville without a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback.
Well, that's true, and boy, Chris played an excellent ball game today. He made one mistake. I could have spanked him, but the thing about it this year is, as he's made a mistake, he'll make 2 great plays that you usually can't coach.
If you like exciting football, you're going to love today's Bobby Bowden Show, because we have highlights galore from FSU Florida. 48th meeting between these two rivals, and the first half highlights are just around the corner. They're for a college football game in late November than what we had in Gainesville on Saturday, Coach. All part of a great setting for a grand finale to the regular season.
Great setting, beautiful weather, and they had that place packed.
Oh, yeah.
They win the toss. You know, we lose a toss every Saturday. And here's number 3 in it, making an excellent run for first place. You talk about great effort. You know, the good thing about that offense, they'll all be back. Every one of them will be back next year. You lose Greg Jones, you lose Calakini, and the rest of them back.
Coach, we started out running the game. Both teams wanted to get a running edge here because historically the team that runs the ball better wins the football.
Well, that's what we had heard, and we were trying to win that thing. We ended up losing it, didn't we, Gene? On that last run of their quarterbacks. They kick a field goal here and take a 3-0 lead. The crowd's going nuts, and I am too because we're behind.
3-0.
But we ran. There's Booker, I believe, taking it up in there. We played Booker. We played Greg Jones, and here comes Booker again on the sweep. You know, he's so fast. First thing you know, he's got 6 yards. And here comes, well, that was a fake to Greg. Here's a pass, a touchdown to Dominic Robinson. Dominic came in the place of Thorpe. He and Chris Davis, and Dominic was kind of the star of the game.
First career start for Dominic Robinson, the junior from California, makes his first career touchdown catch, and at the end of the game had his first career 100. What's this route again? Stayed with his route, and Rick's put it right where he had.
Sure did. You know, he made 3 or 4 great catches in that game. He made a catch on the sideline that I thought was the best catch of the day, although he had some mighty good ones. Oh, it's a good play here. There's number 90, Emmanuel. There's number 55, Eric Moore, who played well. If I were giving the credit to this game, I'd give it to the offensive line of Florida State and the defensive line of Florida State. I mean, both teams just loaded with skill. Boy, look at that. There's a nice run there. Nice tackle by number 40 there, but I think number Jones, I think, got the best of it overall.
I think Greg Jones ran better in this ballgame, Coach, than he has all season long.
He ran slap over that guy.
That's a tough defense he's running over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a team that beat Georgia. This is a team that beat Arkansas. This is a team that beat LSU.
Beat LSU and Baton Rouge.
The only game LSU's lost, you know, so for us to go in there and beat them at their place is mighty big. There's a little Chris Davis from St. Pete. He's just a freshman. You see what kind of potential he's got. Alex Barron at tackle. There comes number 3. He played his heart out. I tell you what.
Leon Washington from Jacksonville, 65 yards rushing.
Yes, sir. And I'm talking about he just scattered and everything else. That was Xavier there kicking a field goal. When it tied the ball game up.
Xavier Bethia gives us a 10-3 lead.
Oh, that puts us ahead 10-3. Okay, that's right, because he caught that touchdown pass.
Absolutely.
I see 54 there, Nicholson in there from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Was that a field goal by them?
Just made it over the crossbar, and it's 10-6 now, Coach. And we're going to put together a nice scoring drive here.
Yep. Okay. We
10-6. And how about this? 3 yards deep. You tell him to bring it out, Coach?
Sometimes you do. Sometimes
if it's number 3, go ahead, right?
3, I'll tell him to come out anytime he wants to.
77 yards later, Coach. Maybe the pivotal play of the first half.
Yeah, that set up touchdown, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, real good job. There's old Wembley down there with him there.
We're going to be so excited about that return. We're going to throw to a tight end that little bit.
Well, this is, that's right. We hit Matt Henshaw, a sophomore tight end from Nashville, Tennessee.
His dad played for you.
His dad played for me at West Virginia. His dad used to coach for me here at Florida State, and he's now with the Titans.
That was not an easy catch that he made.
No, it wasn't.
He had to adjust his body and make an adjustment.
No, and he's going to be a heck of a tight end next year because he's about 6'5". Just gets bigger. Oh, that's Kendall Pope. Kendall Pope played an outstanding ball game. He played from Lake City. Kendall Pope gave our team a little talk, gave a little testimony. There's a real fine job by Rufus Brown. And I tell you, we made us some good stops here, and then they had a 3rd and 24 or something. We let them off the hook, you know. But we make another good play here.
17,
another good play here. 55, Eric Moore again.
That's a quarterback sack. We had 2 in the game.
That's good. We sure needed him, I tell you that. Here comes old Greg. Now he's running good. Look at him. He just simply bulls his way. Our offensive line. There's old Robert Meeks. There's Alex Barron. There's Ray Willis.
Offensive line. And how about David Castillo playing?
Castillo played the whole football game.
Hurt all season. He took every snap.
I was shocked he was able to get through the doggone ball game, but he got through the whole shot. Meinrod at guard also. I don't want to leave him.
And Bobby, historically, the team that leads at halftime now has won 20 of the last 28 victories, 20 of the last 28 games. This was a lead at halftime. You had to be feeling pretty good if history is
I was feeling good, but dadgum, they come right out, Gene, the second half and tie it up.
That's what makes this a great rivalry. No lead is safe, whether it's in Tallahassee or in Gainesville. Speaking of this great rivalry, Burt Reynolds will be along with a great moment in Florida State football. He'll sort of put the FSU-Florida rivalry in perspective. That's coming up next. Stay with us. Season comes to a close, and yesterday another one of those phenomenal rivalry games, Florida State-Florida. But Bert, before we even think about that one, let's go back a year ago in Tallahassee, Florida, sellout crowd, Florida State versus Florida.
Well, Chris Ricks certainly redeemed himself.
Ooh, didn't he? At the beginning of the week, he wasn't the starting quarterback, but he was named the starting quarterback on Tuesday, and went out and put on quite a show. One of those type of games you're never going to forget.
Well, 200 yards, including running and passing, and also Anquan Bolden.
Boy, Anquan.
Tremendous game.
Two big touchdowns. And 119, one a 22-yarder, and it just seemed like when the team needed a big play, it was Ricks to Bolden or Ricks putting the ball under his arm and running for a first down. Right. It was uncanny the way that game played out. Chris Ricks, very important game for Chris against the Florida Gators. In that game, too, the defense played solid. I mean, there was nothing Florida seemed to put on the field that we weren't ready to counter.
Defense played great. This game, I really believe, was the most important game in terms of just turning that whole season around. Anytime you can beat Florida, it makes such a difference to Florida State fans. But this made the whole season for him.
Kendall Pope, maybe the biggest interception of his career, picks off a pass, runs it in for a touchdown. That may not have been the dagger at that point, but it certainly changed the whole tempo of the game.
It was a great interception. Just barely on the fingertips, but it was a great interception.
31-14, Seminole fans were very, very happy at the outcome of that ball game.
Seminole fans are always happy, Gene, when the outcome is Florida State, whatever, ahead of Florida. It doesn't matter what the score is, as long as we win.
So our wireless network, it works here? Yes. Here? Yes. Here? No.
No? Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
It's no.
Do you want some of this?
Let's rumble.
Let's go to
my glasses. Karen, you're the customer. Surely this is enough network for you, yes?
No.
Do we think alike or what? You want wireless coverage wherever you go. So at Alltel, we're expanding our digital network by over 150,000 square miles. Better digital coverage?
You got that right.
Alltel.
Nothing beats a hot shower. But sometimes if you're not first, that heat doesn't last. Don't get the cold shoulder. Get a gas water heater. It heats water so fast you'll get a hot shower every time. And gas costs less. Go to getgasfl.com. Click through to Tico People's Gas and take advantage of cash incentives on new appliances to switch to natural gas. Conserve energy. Save money. Go to getgasfl.com. Click through to Tico People's Gas and save.
Don! Hey, what's up? You going to Tommy's party? I can't, I'm working. Oh, break.
The Dodge SXTs. 4 cool cars. And you won't have to work 2 jobs just to buy one.
Don, you made it!
I like your hat.
Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota don't match it.
You know, I've coached some great players on some great teams and a lot of winning seasons. And there are some things all real champions share. They work hard, they play hard, they give their best on the field, and they love the game. They're as real as you can get. Just like a certain drink I know, a classic favorite that's so refreshing and great tasting. Yeah, it goes great with football. It's Coca-Cola. Man, I love this game. One team man, Gene. Our kids think the world of him, and he likes our kids.
Bert, we'll see you next year on Great Moments. I'm putting it on you right now. Let's go to the highlights now. Second half, Florida State leading 17-6, coach, an 11-point lead, but boy,
they come out
Florida's
right
coming
quick.
out firing,
They
breathing
come
fire.
out right quick. They try a couple of trick plays, and both of them work. But there's old Ernie Sims there making a tackle. He and old Ray Pecuen of Miami. Ernie's just a freshman. And look at, nice shot there.
This one is almost picked off.
You know, if we'd have picked that off, they wouldn't have scored a touchdown. They score on this drive. Watch this right here. Great play. Great play.
Flanker throw back to
It's
the
the
quarterback.
same one we threw against Michigan back in 1991. Same play. Casey Weldon, Charlie Ward was a flanker. We threw it back to Casey, but that set up this touchdown here.
The tight end Ben
Troop. Boy, I'm glad
25 yards.
I'm glad he graduates. He sure is good.
Yards.
You know,
They go for two, coach.
Yep, quarterback comes there, makes a great play for a touchdown.
Now that 11-point lead's been cut to 3.
Yes, sir. See, we nearly had an interception there. Nearly had an interception there.
Call it a game of inches.
They come in and get tie the game up right here.
Right here's the Matt Leach tying field goal, and we know we're in for a dogfight because this is third quarter.
That shows you the fight they had. Now we had them 17-6 at the half, and they come up within 5 minutes.
Two
Got it
possessions.
tied up. But old Willie Reed, look at old Willie. Boy, we had more big plays like this. It was a game of skill. Both teams had so much skill. It was a matter of which skill could get out the most.
45-yard kickoff return. We need to get an answer now and stop the bleeding. They've scored 11 unanswered points.
Well, that's exactly right. And here's old, that's Leon there making a nice one again. Here comes Leon again, another first down.
Is that zone blocking? He finds a hole and scores to it. Is that what you're doing?
We're rather you'd call it zone blocking. Oh, here's a terrible
This is coming right at you, coach, and you got a bird's eye view of that thing.
Spanked him. If I could have got hold of him, I'd have spanked him.
Now, Florida's big playmaker for the last 4 years, number 1 right there.
Yeah.
Kewan Ratliff leads the SEC in interceptions.
Oh,
he scores on a 77-yard return.
He's a senior.
Now they lead.
Yeah.
24-17.
I tell you what, Chris comes back with some great plays, but here's a nice play to old PK Sam. He played well. His brother Lawrence Sam played also. We got both of them again. They kept running that draw on us, and that was very smart. But they fumbled the ball. Pat Watkins from Florida, from Tallahassee, Lincoln High School, picks it up, runs for a touchdown. There's Wembley with him. There's Samuels with him there.
True sophomore. Now, this angle's not going to give you an idea whether that ball was loose or not. This is going to be a disputed play, no matter what anybody says.
Yeah.
It's ruled a fumble on the field, returned by Pat Watkins.
Yeah.
We tie the game with the defensive.
They got one on us. We got one on them.
Both teams finished the regular season with 6 defensive touchdowns on the season.
Isn't that something? Here's a fine catch by number 21 again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Dominic Robinson?
Yeah.
Well, Dominic picked a heck of a game to star in because...
he caught everything thrown his way.
Oh, yeah.
Including a huge fourth down conversion lead.
Exactly right. And there's we finally pinned this guy in here. Well, there's a nice hit by Womble. Womble from Atlanta.
One of our seniors.
He's a senior. He's a senior tackle. We lose him and Dockett both at tackle. But I tell you what, Bunkley and Johnson and
they lead, coach, by a field goal.
They lead. All right. So there's a nice catch again by Dominic Robinson. We came back. Chris Ricks came back and answered them. Here's a great pass there to number 4, Sam.
PK Sam.
You know, this game is getting down to the end now. They've got a lead, but we come back. Now I thought that was Dominic's best catch right there. Oh, great catch. He went up and got that thing. Watch this one here. Now he comes right down there to his tight end.
Donnie
Carter from Waycross, Georgia, I believe, isn't he?
Yep. 2 big catches by the tight end.
2 catches by tight end. One for a touchdown and one down to the 2-yard line. And Chris Ricks jumps over the top. I know.
Wow. Bang, bang, 4th down and goal from about a foot away.
That's exactly right. John Lilly, who coaches our tight ends, I know he is mighty proud to have him catch 2 touchdown passes.
Now, with that 1-yard run by Ricks, we're up 31-27. You say, well, maybe we got it. Watch the play again now. The ball crosses the play to the end zone.
There's Rick. He crossed the
He took some
plane.
big shot to his shoulder.
Yeah, he sure did. And but he made up for that fumble he gave him down there too. And so anyway, that was a great job. Offensive line.
Now Florida State up by 4.
Oh, great.
Ben Troop finishes his career with 2 touchdown grabs in Gainesville. It's senior day, and you know he feels like that's the winning team.
He had a great day, but this little kid answers right back. There's a nice chunk in there. That was
fourth down and 14.
That was 4th and 14. Dominic Robinson, who's had some drops in some earlier games, but he sure answered the bell. Watch this great play here. Watch this great play here by Chris Ricks. Chris Ricks to Sam. Sam could so easily have dropped that ball there because that defender just backed right into him, you know, and he just made the catch, and darn it, puts us ahead. And everybody's excited, and
comes right down, and there's PK Sam makes the catch, beat number 9.
Sure did.
Florida State gets 3 fourth quarter comeback.
Got 55 seconds left, and we have to sweat it because that quarterback brings them right back. Come on, there, grab hold of him.
Oh, Ernie Sims trying to make a tackle.
Yeah, we told him he'd turn it. And old Charlie Howard takes a shot at him there, and oh, thank goodness for that tackle by
Redwood.
Redwood went on scholarship this year. Of course, Chris Ricks is happy. I saw his dad after the ball game, and it was just a great win. I know it was tough on the University of Florida, but it was good for us.
Largest crowd to see a football game in Sunshine State history, and Florida State prevails 38-34. You couldn't ask for a better ball game, and what a finish to that thing.
It was, there was about 5 times now I said, well, that's it. They beat us. Then I'd come, well, that's it. We got them. Oh, my goodness. No, they got us. No, we got them. It went that way, about 5 turnovers there at the end of the game.
You told the press, and it was recorded all Saturday night on national television, cable TV, that in your 28 seasons as the head coach of Florida State, that might have been the most exciting one over Florida.
I can't think of one more exciting than that, Gene. Back when we tied them, came back and tied them after being down 31-3, that was a very lot of excitement. But that was a tie. But this one, I think, is probably the most exciting one I have been around in 28 years I've been at Florida State.
It was a dandy for the fans, and particularly those of us who wear garnet and gold. Up next, we talk a little bit about the bowl pictures. Stay with us. Come to a close regular season-wise, Coach. Congratulations, win number 342, and congratulations, we're back in the 10-win category as a football team.
Well, this team, I thought, proved a lot, Gene, over the problems we've had the last 2 years. This team came back and proved a lot, and I'm glad they got the 10 wins.
We're in a BCS Bowl right now at this moment. We don't know which one, but it's starting to look like we're in the desert. We're on the left coast, and probably not to the Orange Bowl with a Miami victory over Pittsburgh.
No, I would think they're probably going to want Miami as a home team at Miami, which would send us west. We don't know where, though.
That is our final program for the season. Thank you for joining us and following Florida State football all season long. On behalf of Bobby Bowden, the winningest coach in major college football, I'm Gene Deckeroff saying, go Noles, and we'll see you next year.
Is making third down conversion.
Third down, 6 handoff to Faison, and I don't know if he got it. Looks like he stops. Oh, fumble football. Picked up by a Seminole. 10-5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Pat Watkins. He takes it to the house. It's a touchdown, Florida State. Pick the pocket of the ball carrier. And the Noles are a point away from tying. It's not official. Chris Ricks took it in. Noles lead 30-27, and the point after touchdown coming. I think we lost it down in that thing at the goal line, but it doesn't matter. Here's the snap. Ricks against the 4-man rush. Flush to his right. Flush to his right. Cocks the arm. He'll throw it toward the end zone. He's got PK Sam. Open. He makes the catch. Touchdown official. Touchdown PK Sam. 55 seconds left. Sam takes a touchdown catch from Ricks. It's 52 yards. 52 yards. Florida State leads 37-34.
I see you, PK Sam. What a great catch. How about Chris Ricks? Fine time. He just threw it out for grabs. One-on-one, and PK Sam makes the grab.
PK Sam makes the catch.